The land on which us Soliscent Seeds is set, written, and produced is the unsurrendered and unceded territory and traditional lands of the Wolastoqiyik, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy, known collectively as the Wabanaki. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which the Wolastoqiyik, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy people first signed with the British Crown in 1725. The treaties did not deal with the surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized the Wolastoqiyik, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy title and established the roles for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations.
This program contains violence and mature themes and is intended for a mature audience. Audience discretion is advised.
Content warning. This episode contains depictions of suicide and suicidality. For a more detailed content warning, please consult our page on chsrfm.ca.
Playing episode 1 of Us Soliscent Seeds.
I'm sorry. The person whose number you have dialed is currently away from the phone or out of the service area. Please press pound to leave a message, or hang up and try your call again. Dialed is currently away from the phone or...
Where would Joan have put your breaker box? Here. Hello? Anybody here? Joan? Or, frig, what was your home's automated system? Hearth, maybe? Hearth, are you listening? Can you hear me? That storm is no joke.
I'm sorry. The person whose number you have dialed is currently away from the phone or out of the service area. Please press pound to leave a message, or record your message after the tone.
Joan, I just got to your place and the power is, well, it's wicked out there. Like the storms that used to pass through these parts. Like great winds and tides and sea spitting sidelong, like old sailors chewing tobacco. There was that only farmers and motorcyclists. Candles. Let there be light. So stupid. Great, your house is like a mausoleum. I just let myself in. Why did you ever move up here? Up to Gespe'gewa'gi? I only mean my ride, Joan. It sputtered to a stop a few kilometers back. Heard rumors once about lightning striking car hoods, cooking bodies inside. Rumors traveling down Reddit loops. But still, I thought my chances would be best bracing the lightning and thunder and the rain and... A rabbit hopped right up to me out of the storm a ways back. I'm telling the truth. And he looked at me with these big eyes, held his breath as if I was something interrupting his path. An omen, either good or bad, and him trying to puzzle it out. Knelt down, it scuttered away into this clearing. And In the flashes and flashes and flashes, I watched the rabbit run up the rolling hill until, well, he hopped right into the arms of a man who looked at me in and out of the darkness like he wanted to know the reason for me being there in the reforestation range of the province. From the city, for what? A dark figure and his rabbit? And any tell that would validate the story beyond one of my episodes just vanished. Like you. Quick as lightning.
The message you have recorded is now at maximum length. Please press 1 to re-record, 2 to send, or 3 to delete. Re-recording after the tone.
Was that you? The man, or the rabbit, or both, Joan? Frig, it's cold. The power's out. How did you... Your house. The fireplace. Not that I'm complaining. I just...
Re-recording after the tone.
Was the fire going like this the night you... Do you know that they're saying you died that night?
Re-recording after the tone.
Esther won't let me read the autopsy report, so, I mean, without it, all I have left are cursed visions in my imagination. Little fire shadows growing massive on these walls, your body falling to the floor, heavy, spilling onto the wood boards of the living room, staining it with mysteries.
Re-recording after...
It was here, right?
Re-recording
No,
after...
no, there.
Re-recording...
A loud bang and a tree falling in the forest, making an echo that never stops hammering
Re-recording
or nothing.
after the tone.
Did you leave this sweater on the mantle? Would you mind? It smells like dust, motor oil, and sea spray. But if I close my eyes, a sweetness like purple loosestrife after a storm. I don't think I ever told you that your smell reminded me of Mom.
Re-recording after the tone.
Joan, there's more to the story, right? Because when I begged and borrowed and stealed about where your ashes were, Joan, Esther let me know that there was no body found. Just residue and a red stain of all that you were. You know that's not enough for me.
Re-recording after the tone.
I'll wait here for you then.
Message sent.
New message from Katherine Blythe.
Earth,
Yes, Joan.
play that song I like. The one that sounds and smells like the wind through New Brunswick's coast from long ago. The one that's like drifting into a tide's memory. I found this old bottle in your things. I figured someone ought to drink it. Here, let me pour you a glass as well.
Joan? For red wine stains on hardwood flooring, Homestyle Daily
Stains
recommends...
memorialize us. For all we are. For the potted plant you bought me.
Me?
Her. Aggie. You. For the way it smashed against the wall when you found it limp, your last straw. For trying to collect up the shards and for slicing my palm, for bleeding down into the dirt spilled at the base. For bleeding into the roots. Remember how the leaves turned red? Like cloth dyed with beets? Blood curdled? The vines loved it.
I'm sorry. I can't seem to find that memory in my records.
Once this is over, power down and sleep, kid.
Of course. Sweet dreams, my dearest Joan. quite catch that. Could you repeat your command? Joan? Joan?
Visions, I suppose. My restless sleep flows with the seasons and the weather and the alignment of the stars, and when I get stressed or eat a pot piece of bagel, my hair grows all limp and lacks its usual luster and I get these visions. Surely you'd understand.
I don't, actually.
Picture me, a sapling, right? In my lucidity, a small seedling growing big, thick roots all the way down, and all too fast until they're literally pushing me out of my terracotta, roots pressing this seedling right out from her premium soil that she has been living it up in like nobody's business,
And your digressive potlessness is why you're still in bed, while I'm here bright and early, kids dropped off on time, coffee stained with the morning's grab and go, and knee down soaked from puddles on our dead sister's front step.
Exactly, Esther. You always were so smart.
Smart enough to know roots as a metaphor is so last century.
But I'm just saying...
Or making excuses.
Saying that it was literally traumatizing, E.
Traumatizing?
For real. Traumatizing. My skin and hair shocked, instantly lifeless. I tell you, the first night I'm back in New Brunswick, I'm having all these dirty, earthy, ecological nightmares like I'm allergic to the very air or vibe.
Hence why you're no longer helping to prepare the place for Joan's wake.
Thank goodness your thick head isn't wasting neurons, E. Reminds me of my employees in Toronto. You know Toronto has the most smart people per capita, eh? And a growing number of IQ-busting bots at that. Esther? Hello? Are you still there?
Still snores like when we were children. Katherine, I mean. Maybe it's taboo to say D, but mayhaps a plant overgrown has more options than your vision let on. Plants are too impracticable a thing to know much about these days, but I would guess that sometimes they don't have the option to split and reroot into a new pot when the growing gets tough. No pun intended? I don't think Joan did either.
Think that's why she...
Why I would...
Esther.
I've got the kids.
And Kath.
Listen, after the wake, you can break free again. But until then...
Take a pill, slap on some makeup, get out there and make a difference, kid.
Just get here. No effing funny business, Daphne. Real mature. Hearth, lights on.
Welcome, Esther.
Oh, thanks? God, for something so high-tech, it's pretty effing dingy in here. Hearth, activate the air circulation system. Ugh, it smells like something rotted. Just my luck that the bones of this house will have to be replaced before it stands a chance out on the market. It's like this house is teasing Joan's techie ghost by collapsing into her exact opposite.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Hearth, cancel, or sleep, Or stop listening. Or whatever it is that you do. Hey, Kay.
Esther?
Beat me here, hey?
I was in the neighborhood last night, so I
Took refuge from the storm in this mildew mansion?
must look so friggin' groggy.
Bah, what's a little drool between sisters?
Frig, sorry.
At this point, kid, I'm comfy with looking uncomfy. Looking and feeling. But you're good?
Mm-hmm. The power must have turned on as the storm died down. And you?
Power through because
Shutting down won't prolong the rain.
as good as it feels on your skin. When I die, make sure to leave the windows open, okay? So you can find me in the sense of the city, wherever I am. So much. Is this moss on the windowsill? The panes won't even budge. Once you wake up, help me case the joint for cleaning supplies, won't you? Wipe everything down before boxing and stowing Joan's things before the wake. It's weird. On the way here, I was thinking a lot about that game Mom used to make us play after school. Flower and fungus. Putting things into perspective. You know where Joan would have kept her cleaning supplies? Literally nada under the sink.
Aggie?
Reason I was thinking of the game is on account of, on the drive, all along the side of these god-awful roads, were all these foxgloves. Sprouts of color, stalks of miracles. Real flowers welcoming me back to the North Shore. It was, to borrow a cliche, a breath of fresh air. Found some bleach. And gloves. Bonus Jonas.
Aggie. Joan never mentioned any Agartha.
Flowers as the flowers of my drive. Where the fungus creeps in, however, was in some of the people on the way out. They were, well, nobody gave you any trouble on the drive down, Kay, did they? I swear I almost slammed a man with my front end when he leapt on all fours in front of my car, like they say rabbits used to, right? Caught in my headlights, but I swerved, only to see him far in my rear view. Major fungus. Saw other people in the big fields there, grazing on the grass. I swear. Now, I don't want to be insensitive or harmful but those infamous reforestation agents sent up north on their harrowing mission to touch grass and plant trees, they set up camp in wetlands near here after they went rogue, no? Groups up at the university and the Soliscent started replacing street lamps with maple trees in the capital. Still not enough to take the heebie-jeebies from this overgrown part of the province. Man, this moss is built up thick on the windowsills, eh?
Aggie.
How about you?
Aggie.
Flower and fungus, okay?
Did Joan know someone named Agartha?
What's that, Kath?
Found it in the sweater.
Joan's sweater?
A note. Hearth, who's Agartha?
Katherine?
Locating.
That's quite all right, Hearth. Kay, what do you got there?
Memory found.
Play memory, please.
Fucking shit!
What's this, kid?
Thought of us.
A lamp?
Well, a plant.
A lamp with a plant at the bottom?
Touch the leaves.
Whoa, light? How?
I coiled the roots around the wires.
And it's able to conduct a whole current?
Flowing energy is all anything will ever be, stripped to the base.
To create life and light.
Or eclipse all into darkness.
How erotic.
You idiot.
I'm a tech genius, not a borealist. How dare you contain all we are into a potted plant you knew I couldn't care for?
We aren't coded with nature blindness, Joan. Can't you see the death of one plant means so much more than withered leaves? Death reverberates in the air up here.
Agartha, the house is... it's...
Trust me.
Aggie?
If death is around the bend, life is an earth spin away. Meet me at the fall.
Memory file has been corrupted.
Who the hell was that? Katherine?
Re-recording after the tone.
I wonder, do you ever get the feeling like that one-bedroom apartment on the north side of town you live in suddenly becomes miraculously, inexplicably, entirely new? Like maybe things have shifted around with the whims of the universe out of your control, Mandela'd into an alternate dimension. Like you're dancing around the corner of your galley kitchen while the kettle rises and your hand on that familiar path pre-mapped by your subconscious brain slams smack into a light fixture, sending it flying, shattering against the fridge, leaving you in the glass-strewn dark, unable anymore to move without slicing your foot and bleeding out, unable anymore to make a sound. Esther says that's disorientation. That's what that feeling is. That's exactly where I was, by the way, when the phone rang that day. In the kitchen, that is, kettle on the verge, foot slicing to maneuver the dark around my body, bleeding in the direction of the ringing because I knew that subconscious dancing brain just freaking sensed, that it was important. I didn't tell Esther about my bleeding foot, nor the live wires in my kitchen ceiling, nor the deep-set dark of my one-bedroom apartment. Next morning, she found me static and sat in it. She had something to tell me that she couldn't say over the phone. I didn't know that you were ever depressed. Didn't know that you were ever in love. I didn't consider until now how the term falling encapsulates the feelings of both. I feel like the bandages Esther wrapped around my feet could never soak in the amount of life I have to lose. I feel itch raw. I feel candle cracked, spilling fire wax. I feel moose drunk on wild apple rottings. I feel overgrown, weather drowned, pin pricked from hot sun. I feel moon close, tidal board, sailors spit in wet wind. I feel corpsed out and dry. I feel closer to you than ever. But disorientation is everywhere, and everywhere is that elusive name, Agartha.
End of episode 1 of Us Soliscent Seeds.
This episode features
Brianna Parker Tarasco as Katherine Blythe.
Bronwyn Mosier as Esther Blythe.
Cersei Kane as Agartha.
Kaylin Adair as Joan Blythe and Hearth.
Kayla Osachek as Daphne Blythe and Rojo.
Created by McKenna James Boeckner and Carlee Calver.
Produced by McKenna James Boeckner and Carlee Calver.
Directed by Neomi Iudit.
Audio engineering and editing by Rebecca Tinsley.
Special thanks to CHSR Radio and the University of New Brunswick's English departments.
This project is supported by the New Brunswick Arts Board. Cet projet est soutenu par le Conseil des Arts du Nouveau-Brunswick. Us Soliscent Seeds is an eco-horror audio drama airing on CHSR Radio. Follow us on Instagram at us_Soliscent_Seeds.